Hi guys! So the last video I uploaded was about demo reels and show reels, and I thought I will give some tips and tricks on self-tapes, because as we're moving through COVID and less auditions being face-to-face, and obviously self-tapes are going to be the way to go in terms of booking work, getting agents, building up your portfolio so agents can see your body of work and who you are, the character, all that kind of fun stuff. So there are a few things that I've learned over the last few years that has helped me kind of either book work or get agents, and I thought I will share them. So number one is, if you've got a good script, or if you're just trying to find an agent and trying to get a good body of work, find a really good script. And once you've got that down pat, or if it's an audition, the second is to learn your lines. It is so simple, but surprisingly a lot of actors don't want to learn their lines, and I've seen it in class, I've seen it with people that I've been coaching, I've been seeing it with just friends in general, and I'm sure a lot of you have really great memories. I mean, I don't have a very good memory, so I have to learn lines back to front, front to back, when I'm brushing my teeth, going for a shower, going for a drive. It's probably not safe, but I really need to learn the lines back to front to kind of get it in me, in my muscle memory, so that when I'm performing, it is purely just as if I'm thinking about it on the spot rather than trying to search for that line. When you're on set and when you're actually doing the work as a character and you've booked the job, there will be people sitting on the sidelines making sure that you don't change that word from the to the to and same, and like you can't just add words unless maybe, for example, it's comedy. They're probably a little bit more lax, but on general drama sets that I've been on, they've been really strict with the wording on the script. And I guess it's also to honor the writers as well, because they spent so much time reading and going through proofreading and reading and writing. So we just have to honor the writing. So if we can, stick to the lines, learn them, and so you can be free. This is also really helpful for auditions, for example, when casting directors give you adjustments. If you are still trying to search for the line, you're going to be finding it really hard to take adjustments, because you're still kind of trying to search the word, or you're trying to search where they're up to in terms of the script. So the better you're at learning lines, and I'll be going through maybe different ways of learning lines, but there are different ways to learn lines, but I found one that really works for me. So learn your lines so that you can be free as a character and explore and use your body and language and accents and all that pitch and that kind of stuff, so that you can have a really awesome performance. Number two is natural light. So right now I'm actually using a rim light because I'm filming at nighttime. Before, as I was filming, I think the first video before this, I was filming during natural light, but as obviously the sun has gone down, I'm using now an LED light, and I think it's personally pretty good, and I've used it quite a lot when I've auditioned or done self-tapes. What you can have is either LED rim light, which goes from cool to warm lighting, depending on your skin tone, your eye color, that kind of stuff that works well for you. There are different ways as well. You can have light boxes that you can buy from eBay. There's two light boxes, usually one coming from here, one coming from here, and if you want, there might be one behind you to really get rid of the backlighting or the shadows. I personally don't really care about shadows, but there are casting directors that don't like shadows. In terms of background, what I would recommend is a white wall that is completely blank, and definitely no plants and paintings and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have this if this was a self-tape. Other people have blue backgrounds, green backgrounds. You can buy them on eBay where there's pop-ups. So you can literally, they're like this round, and you pop them out. They come out about 2 meters. You can use those. And if you have blue eyes or green eyes, it looks amazing. For me, in terms of my skin color, it seems to really work well with the white background. So I just use white background. I have used a pink background before as well for a character that was very, she was like a nail salon girl. She was really beautiful and quite sassy, and I used a pink background for that, and that actually helped me get into the second rounds. I got shortlisted for that role for a US production, and that was really cool. So you can be quite creative with your background if it's blank, but I would never recommend having a person in the background or like paintings or things in the background that will distract the casting director from your performance. So try to keep it as plain as possible in terms of backgrounds. That's a lot of backgrounds. The other thing would be sound. So the first thing would be, in terms of sound, is the reader should be a little bit further away from the camera than you are, so that your voice is louder. But I mean, I like the reader being quite close so that I can feel their energy and work off them. It can be a little bit weird, obviously, having a reader that's further away from the camera and you're feeling like you're not, you know, doing as good of a performance. So other ways to go around this to kind of, so that your reader can still be quite close to the camera, is get an external mic. So there are different types of mics. There's ones that you can clip onto you. That's really great for presenters. But a really great one that I find that is really helpful with this video, for example, is an external mic that's a shotgun. So you just connect it to your phone. There's Rode, my one is Comica. There's ones that, you know, you can have down here that projecting your voice into the camera that you will have to edit later. So there are different ways that you can get around that so that you don't have to be so far from your reader, if you like the reader being a lot closer so you can feel their energy or whatnot. So there's different ways that you can go around it, but these are the ways that I've kind of come around it, and I'm really finding that the external mic really works well. I didn't actually have one for many years, and now I'm kind of kicking myself for not having it earlier, because it really does make my voice project a lot better in the camera, in the video, so that it's better to watch, I guess. In terms of the room, what I would recommend is having no floorboards, but having somewhere where it's not much echo. So the sound needs to be in the room rather than echoing in the room. So that's a huge one, would be making sure if it's a carpet, if you can lay things down on the ground so that there's no echo while you're talking. That would be really beneficial for casting directors that obviously find that annoying. And if you have traffic noises, bird noises, that lawn mowing, I've had that before. And obviously if you're, so my phone actually cut out with the last video, so I will just continue. This is my third time lucky, but that's okay. Basically with background noise, if you can't get rid of it through an external mic, or it's just one of those days that you can't film and you're on a deadline, obviously you can also use apps on your phone and your computer to help edit them out so that it isn't as annoying as it is with your performance. So so I hope that really helps with the sound. It's really important. I kind of was a bit slack on that side, but now I kind of wish I implemented it a lot earlier in my career, but that's all cool. I'm just passing it on to you so that you don't have to go through all of this later in your career. In terms of different skills, so if you know how to do martial arts, singing, playing an instrument, you're a good rock climber, I don't know, any sort of skill that you have, horse riding for example, I would actually get it on video. So it's not technically a self-tape, but it is a self-tape. I did that so many times. I had an audition for a singing kind of part for a US TV show, and I had to film myself separately singing in my bathroom and playing the piano, or you know, playing my ukulele. I also film myself doing martial arts as well on the side, sword training, that kind of stuff, so that if any sort of audition comes up where they're like, can you do martial arts, can you sing, you can just flick that over as well. So when you do have those videos as well, label them on Vimeo or any sort of platform that you're using so that it is easy to download and also easy to read with what it is specifically. So I would highly recommend that. In terms of readers, I would recommend having a really good reader that you work with really well. You know, I would generally get 2 guys and 2 girls mainly on call that I would always use, and vice versa. If they need to use you, obviously try to be available available for your friends as well. I like to say, you know, acting is a community thing, and if you kind of start getting into the habit of building each other up and helping each other land gigs, it really does trickle. So try to get 2 guys and 2 girls that can do decent US and UK accents, and that are generally, you know, have a like easy to call to use, and also try to get into a good setup of in terms of your layout. So I would highly recommend that. Another thing in terms of framing would be, instead of framing some like being too close like this, where, you know, you're talking and, you know, this is probably too tight. The kind of framing that I have right now is what I would use for self-tape. So I wouldn't have my head cut off like this or have too much space above my head. I would try to have just a little bit of space above my head. I'm just using my little mirror behind so I can see, and also around my breast area. That gives me enough space to kind of move as I'm doing my self-tape, and for them to actually see my face. In terms of clothing as well, a huge one would be dress like the character. If you're a homeless person or playing a professional, wear a suit. If you're trying to be a martial artist, like try to dress that motorbike, you know, outfit to kind of rough it up a little bit. If you're like a really quirky, you know, sassy girl from next door, you know, like do your hair up, put on your makeup. I think they don't like as much jewelry, so I would limit the amount of jewelry, like big hoops, unless that's a character choice. But if you can, try to limit big ass jewelry that's going to take away from your beautiful face. Try to just keep it real simple. Some casting directors love makeup and some casting directors hate makeup, so it really is a personal preference in terms of when you're in the industry, whether they're looking more for that natural look or whether they're going for like more of that glam look. It really depends on the character, it depends on the casting director. And also I use makeup as well as a way to also make myself a little bit more mature. So if I'm going for, you know, 30-something-year-old characters, excuse me, 30-something-year-old characters, and I'll wear a little bit more makeup to kind of darken my eyes. And if I'm playing a little bit more younger, then I would go a little bit more natural, probably pop up my hair in a ponytail, and that kind of makes me a little bit more younger. And clothing is definitely a huge one. Don't spend a lot of time on clothing, but it does help with the character in terms of selling the character, because half of it is what you're wearing, and then the other half is, you know, the way that you perform it, the way that you give your flavor, and obviously how you portray that character from the words on the page out into, you know, performance stage. So I really hope that helps you with self-tapes. If you have any more questions, pop them down below. I'm so happy to pass on my knowledge and what I've learned. I hope this helps you, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.